team's turn to ban.
Alright, I'm going.
10 seconds remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
5
back to our
seconds
second
remaining.
match here between Team SMG and Army Geniuses. We saw Mid One and Co popped off in that game one. Can they do it in the second game? That's the question. Army Geniuses, they've had a little bit of time to work things out, but you know, enough time, and we already see coming into it, it's
Team's turn to
not
ban.
gonna get the creepy old spider brood bomber, which is something that they've put a lot of emphasis on. So already one of the key heroes is gone here, Denon.
I want to see Army Juniors just get rid of that Elder Titan. I feel like that's the real linchpin for what SMG has. You know, just get they get a couple of early points into the natural order. It just makes them so much stronger in all of the engagements once SMG are like, right, let's hit the switch. These are our timings. Let's go. You can see that they're already getting rid of the Enchantress. They don't have the first pick overall, so regardless of which one they ban, whether it's the ET or the Grimstroke, well, they're actually getting rid of the Ember Spirit. I mean, Nia's got a damn good Ember Spirit, but Grimstroke's also very damn good. I would have to hope that Army Geniuses feeling confident about picking ET themselves, because we talked about, I thought it was a good block pick last game. And, you know, the first 4 or so minutes went really well for them. You know, it's a good hero for the laning stage. But then, I guess Army Geniuses just don't quite know how to play the hero to transition beyond that. And I feel like that was their big issue.
Yeah, I'm also very surprised that they left the Grimstroke in. We've just seen so much priority on this hero, either first phase pick or first phase ban. And the fact that it's just getting let through again for SMG, they do for a bit of a different opener for Army Geniuses. So it looks like the Tusk plus is going to be their answer here. We do see that the Tusk in a lane versus the Grimstroke could be relatively nice just to dodge the Inkswell stun. And they're actually back into the pub.
I have no problem with them picking the pup. I'm just going to go straight into the Omnium again, clearly valuing it quite highly on Team SMG. And, well, I don't know how I feel about the Omni Knight. I feel like in pubs it probably doesn't work. In competitive, it does, because it requires so much trust that your team is actually going to rotate and do what you ask them to at a certain time. And particularly for the C server, that can be hard a lot of times. But it feels like they're all on the same page, and you know, they focused the Omni Knight on Army Geniuses last time, even when they'd killed 3 other heroes. And it was just the Slark and the Omni, and the Omni was giving him massive status resistance and a Solar Crest. They were just like, you know what, let's not bother about this hero, which was a little bit surprising to me. But let's see. Hopefully they change tact this time around. They get rid of the Slark immediately, just like, we don't want to have to deal with that again.
Yeah, look at the respect they're already coming through. They got rid of Nia's Ember. They'll get rid of also Mid One Slark. They are very worried right now. SMG looks like they're a bit in the head of the Army Geniuses, boys.
Just get rid of the ET as well. It's not even that, for me, wouldn't be getting in their head. I just feel like both Rogi and Arfu play an amazing Elder Titan, so you just got to get rid of it.
What? How about the Earth Spirit? I know we, like, of course, it's not picked up or anything like that, but Arfu Earth Spirit is something we see quite often. Just overall about the hero, do you feel like he's kind of not as popular as what we used to see? Because I really thought we would see it a little bit more with how much they're playing the Grimstroke with SMG.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the 4s these days want to buy things. It has to be the 3 or the 4, occasionally the 5. Buy things like the Solar Crest, and that's not something that an Earth Spirit really likes to do. So maybe that's the mentality behind it. You know, he is very, I suppose, independent with a lot of his item choices. Basically, the only thing that's going to be used in a big team fight would be something like, I don't know, a Veil of Discord, for example, to be able to buff up everyone's damage around him. But other than that, he feels a little too solo or selfish oriented to be one of these supports these days. You think of what are the popular 4s. You know, Grimstroke goes the Shard, Tusk goes the Solar Crest, or, you know, things of that nature. What else is there? Elder Titan, one of the popular ones as well. So you just have to think about what are you actually providing to the rest of your team. This isn't a pup. You're not 1v5ing this. This is a 5v5 engagement, and it clearly showed in that game one. Like, that was probably one of the best examples of team Dota that you could see for quite some time.
A lot of respect coming through for mid ones here, Paul, but mid one's got a pretty diverse carry pool, so I'm intrigued if this is the right way to go about it with the bans here, prioritizing him instead of someone else.
5 seconds remaining.
The ET's got to go. I'm sorry. I don't think the Faceless Void is what you're amazingly concerned about. Ursa, sure, because it is one of his stronger heroes. It's good against the puck. You're able to just leap over the tusk shards in a dicey situation. So I think that's totally fine. But leaving ET in the pool is a bit of an issue. Don't mind the Shadow Demon, though.
Yeah.
SMG like to go into that all-in aggression, right? And you can just completely disrupt with a disruption. You've also got the Tusk Snowball to be able to save as well. So perhaps feeling a little bit more on the defensive mindset are Army Geniuses. And that's not even taking into account, of course, the Demonic Purge to be able to provide A, the break, B, also just get rid of all of these buffs that SMG might be looking to layer in onto one hero.
And that was something they were kind of needing last game against the Slaw. Like you were saying, the Omni Knight just is such an X factor. And we're going to see a Dream Protector. This is something that's getting picked up a little bit more in China.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get to see it kind of trickle down.
Somewhat to see. I think it's like Execration are playing a lot of it. Ara really likes the Dream Protector. We were talking about that Holy Locket last game, right? A pretty good Holy Locket game. You've already got the Omni Knight, and you got the Dream Protector as well. So why not?
It does feel like Army Geniuses now need a way to take towers early. The Lesh is already standing out to me, but then you're going to have a Lesh puck, more than likely a 1-2, which can work. It just means you have to play really fast tempo. But I just see someone like a Dream Protector, and this is a hero that really thrives on keeping towers alive through like the first 20 minutes of the game, and then having a lot more map control to play with. And someone like a Leshrac can kind of make it very difficult for the tree to protect the towers until you get more levels in the Living Arm, until you get more levels in the Nature's Grasp as well.
I want to see something like an axe come out from Army Geniuses. I feel like you just need to go all in onto this pick off one target mentality. You've got a puck, an insane amount of burst damage. You've got the tusk, you've got a very good amount of burst damage. If you get a call off combined together with the soul catcher, someone's already really low HP. And let's say you put the demonic purge onto them as well. Guardian Angel's not going to save them. Heavenly Grace isn't going to save them. Living Armor's not going to save them. So I think that's a solid way to go about things. But they're taking their time with only 10 seconds left. That reserve time. It's going to be the LC. It's not bad, but actually, I don't mind that, because we saw the way that SMG played game one, right? Basically, no one was next in mid one. He was the focus of every single team fight. So if it's going to be the same sort of way, you're not going to get these multi-man calls off. And Legion Commander with the duel is effectively just as good. All you want to do is lock one person in place with that soul catcher and then quickly burst them down afterwards. So I feel like if they're able to execute correctly, SG's lineup could crumble very quickly if they're able to pick off one of their key targets.
And it's another nice defensive factor they have with the Legion, right? Because you've got the Snowball already, you've got the Banishment, and now you have a way with the press the attack to get rid of the, say, Ink Swell stun or the big overgrowth control.
The question is, will they actually rotate this time? Will they do it as a team? Because I feel like once you get to... Don't mind the control, it prevents that. As long as you're able to get the duel damage, the battle trance off, you're not going to be dying inside the duel. So, could that be enough to be able to save? Who knows? They're going to definitely need to be on point with a lot of these silences coming through from Army to make sure that's not the factor. But it's going to be very hard. So, what is the carry that they go here, or even the mid carry we've seen so many times?
OD looks really good. I don't know if you can play it with a puck. It feels like really weird.
I think you can.
Ban it though.
Yeah.
Dire team's turn to ban.
And for FG, they're needing at least some way to solve these fights. You could have a really, really fat mid one troll, but I think regardless, you're going to need a kind of spirit-esque hero for Nia to get that jump and really punish the Shadow Demon backline, the backline as well. Because if you don't, the saves are just going to cause way too much chaos, and they'll just blow everything on one hero, get saved, and then the fight can
Team's turn to ban.
really out of hand from there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've seen Nia play Void Spirit to a pretty good level, and I think the big time then would be picking up that Ag Scepter. You know, if you're able to use your one Astral Step charge, get it onto the back lines, use that Resonant Pulse, silence multiple heroes, it takes away so much of that instant burst potential, which I feel like Army Genius's lineup is so heavily based around. So, what cheats haven't they banned out? Huskar's there, and
It's a good mid pro game.
5 seconds remaining.
Because that's the last two.
Grimstroke's pretty good against Meepo. And then it is the Void Spirit, like we were expecting. Way to start a fight, way to disrupt the backlines. I honestly wonder how much attention they're going to put onto Nia's lane, making sure he gets that good level of early farm so that he can start to build into the Axe. I think this is the first item Axe, to be perfectly honest, for the Void Spirit.
Choose your hero.
And it's the Husker. See, this is the benefit of passing these teams over and over. You kind of know what's coming.
If they're going to go out on anything, it's going to be their cheats Husker.
Yeah.
They are a do or die for Army Geniuses. If they lose this, and they will have to play in the last chance tiebreakers. Yeah. For SMG, they're looking for one more victory here to secure. You know, don't know what next season is going to entail, but if it is the upper division and nothing real changes, then of course they will have that promotion spot.
Mm-hmm. And money. Money's always good.
Money is always.
More money, more problems is the saying a lot of the time, but I would rather have money.
Well, how are we feeling about this one? Do we feel like Army Geniuses with this 24th Husker pick is going to be enough to do Team SMG have what's available to deal with the Husker?
Again, it just comes down to execution, right? Are they going to continuously gank the tempo setter in Nia? Because SMG have a hard time starting team fights if Nia doesn't have a good stable level of farm super early on. So I want to see a lot of rotates through to that mid lane as soon as you've got, you know, for example, the duel ready, or you just need to be patient, make sure he uses that dissimulate, you know, perhaps a little bit too offensively to try and punish him. That's going to be the key timing for me, because you've got so much setup and no way to save once you get that demonic purge off. The only thing that doesn't really synergize together is that the life break on the Huskar and the Soul Catcher on the Shadow Demon, like, it's based off of your current HP, right? A percentage will reduce their health by, so it's like, it's not amazing, but at least you'll be able to get one of them off in every single situation. So that's like, bam, 40% HP gone both times.
How comfortable are we on Nia's Void Spirit? Because when they were Southfield, he really did struggle on the Void Spirit. Do you feel like this is going to be a game where he can thrive, or is he going to be kind of sacrificed again?
To be fair, I think that was just Bob having an insane series. It felt like versus the world for Southfield that time around. And not to say that Mamet Dai is any slouch, of course, especially on his signature Husker, but we'll see if he's able to pull it back with this one, because Bob was definitely on point that time. Go all in. Go all in with whatever you're predicting. Worst scenario, you get a bunch of extra points. Worst case scenario, you lose all your points, but we're going to be useful anyway. Unless it's game 3, then, you know, you kind of won't, but we'll see what happens. You want to get to that magic 5,000 so you can get the giveaway entries. Hopefully, for the sake of good Dota, we go to a game 3.
Yeah, we're always through, especially with teams like get to see some incredible Dota right now between Army Geniuses and SMG, and that's going to trickle on forward into the top division that will be on tonight. We've got 2 incredible series over there as well.
Well, one incredible series, one good series. Let's say that.
And I don't care. Any Dota game, any upper division game to me, it's incredible. We feel so privileged now. With you just look any time of the day, it really feels like there's Dota going on. It's just so much shit.
Little I love it on UK, missing out on the. I think that was going to happen. How else was to He's taking an okay amount of damage right now. Or die, or will he? You got the Venom. He's boots, so he should be fine.
That's gonna be ferocious lane though. Like our right clicks can kind of stop, and especially with Venom, like you were saying, that team. So I'm sure it could be pretty. And they've got 3 armor. If we're going to see him prioritize a little bit more armor, but you know, saying about Nia on his way through, it is already at 6 last hits versus the Husker, so it's actually starting real well. It's never happening versus a lane dominator like Husker.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Void Spirit's probably one of those heroes. I hear that actually doesn't mind too much about letting it the Husker at least super early on, because then the fire is not going to be super effective at reducing your ability to get last hits. You're still going to have the Resonant Pulse. You're still going to have the Air Remembered, so you mind game quite as easily to cure a lot of denial for yourself. So I think you're going to do this fine. It's already out now, just for the 2 moons.
And we'll see. It's gonna have to prioritize a lot on that small camp as well, which some teams, when they have this real intense lane in mid lane, they like to block the small camp, because that is usually the fault when you can't get a lot of the CS in the lane. That's what the Void Spirit thrive. But he's thriving right now at the moment. Top of the last hits the bottle, and that's exactly this lane. Get the fast, a lot of regen, and just spam out the wave.
Even with that Water Rune, you know, you can potentially look to get a bit more aggressive. You can see them 2 points into the Burning Spears, so a little bit less regen coming through. Able to dive, but you just want to dive and get his best level of fire.
Take a look at this lane, one and Roger. This is going to be a very difficult lane, I feel, for one and Lim, because the Troll and Protector are the strong laning stage.
Yeah, I'm keen to see how Roger opts to build here, because obviously Nature's Grasp and fantastic spell, even with just the 1 slow, doesn't scale that amazingly, same sort of with the damage, but I've seen armor be the thing prioritized a lot of the time. I wonder if that's still going to be the case, or if you just get the 1 value point just because you're going up against this Shadow Demon that doesn't really care about having it. It's actually got the 2 points in the Leech Seed.
Interesting. Is this just for, I guess, looking to trade? Because there is still a decent amount of damage that can come through from the Army Geniuses off lane.
Yeah, just easy trade. I mean, a Legion Commander's like, okay, I'll happily trade with you, but 2 points in the Leech Seed is a fair amount of damage, and I feel like Leech Seed 2 points is the value mark there. You double the damage, you nearly double the slow. Cooldown reduced slightly as well. Roger, he's taken a fair amount of these poison stacks, though. It's a level 2 Shadow Poison. You can get 1 more onto him, he might be dead, but I think he should be okay.
Roger actually as well. It's just a back and forth. Everyone's just eating up so much harass at the moment. And see, this is where it comes into play. Wami's got the Ring of Health, Ring of Regen. Well aware that this is going to be a lane where there's just a lot of damage and spells getting dished out left, right, and center.
Same sort of thing on bot side, right? You got a Tusk with Tag Team and the Orb of Venom. You're always going to try and get aggressive as possible. That's the downside of the position 5 Tusk, though, is that you can afford to go and get the Orb of Venom, but boots are going to come much later. You can see here, even with the Courier coming out, it's just more regen, making sure the Puck has a decent start to the game as opposed to enabling yourself for any kind of kills.
We'll get to see our first blood here in the second game. Is there a lane that you feel like might be higher probability than any others?
Honestly, all three are pretty damn even for the likelihood. It just depends on people's positioning, right? You get out of position once against a Tusk, you're dead meat. I mean, you can see here they're trying to go in onto KP, but that value point in the DJ Aura, will it be enough? Nope.
It will not.
What's this? A fascinating
Just
substance.
the orb there from DB is going to be able to pick up the first blood of the game, just as I was saying what lane to look out for. Goes down bot.
It's all about that positioning. Tusk, super important. And he's forced to TP all the way back to base to be able to refill his bottle and get a bit healthier. But that's going to leave Mangdaya here to... Well, he's going to push the lane out so that he can... I mean, that's the thing with a Husker, right? You're not great at jungling, so he's just trying to push this wave under the tower as quickly as possible. It's going to be a bit harder against a siege creep, though.
And that is what the Husker wants to do, though. Like, when you're the lane dominator and you force a hero back into the jungle, if you shove that lane out, I mean, one, the tower's going to take damage. Two, if they don't come back fast enough, then you're going to lose valuable gold and experience. And regardless, I mean, you kind of have to come back and defend it, which means that's where the Husker can thrive, going up against like a weak lane like the Void Spirit. And we're really seeing the Dominator come into play here. Like, he's got 36 last hits compared to the 22. Nia was doing great for the first couple of waves and then slowly start to tail off as you get the Phantoms. Going to prevent him from utilizing the defensive snowball, but well, it works out just as well with Lim on the backline here for the banishment. Nia still is going to pull them away thanks to the dissimulate, but Mangdaya is umming on right now whether he wants to go in or not with the Husker. He's got full bracer along with the helm, so he's relatively sustainable, but I don't think he's going to be able to survive through all the damage that SMG can dish out when they surround him.
And that's exactly what you want to do. You know, you want to rotate people so that you're moving as far away from that tower as possible. That tower is already on basically half HP. Rogi was healing it up during the start of that, but I mean, the benefit of a Husker around a tower is that, similar to the Viper, you can just use the Burning Spear as long as it's not auto-cast to continue diving under it. And if there's a creep wave there, it's just going to push the mid laner out of the lane one more time. But instead, ends up going down himself. That's actually a huge death in the context of this game.
Yeah, it is, because we were speaking about in the draft is that Radiant are going to need ways to take towers early. And if the Husker is dying a couple times and missing that timing of grouping up and taking these early objectives, then we're going to see the Treant Protector really thrive with keeping those towers up.
Wami up here, he's doing an okay job with being able to get his last hits, but he's still short on the level 6. Mid one's more than a level ahead of him right now, so you're realizing the fact that with that ranged form, you're always going to have a relative advantage over the Legion Commander, especially with how much Army Geniuses are wanting to secure this mid lane for Mangdaya. That horrible camp for a Husker. The Bulls, his regen's gimped because of it.
Still doing relatively well though for Dire. He's got the armlet almost completed, so we'll see if Army Genius is going to be able to hit that big time.
This rotation though.
Can they burst through him? It's pretty low right now. Mangdaya is going to fall. Very nice movement from Team SMG. Well aware of the positioning, and now that with that pick off, they can transition that into another up top as Wami's in trouble here. Mid one's getting a couple roots. They'll miss the remnant, but regardless, a last root for mid one to lock him in place allows them to get another pick off thanks to that smoke maneuver. Really great movements from Team SMG, and they are still not done just yet. Stroke of Fate slows down you, and Neo can move in now with the Astral. Snowball's going to be able to dodge it. He's going to be careful of the positioning. Might actually run into the remnant. They're stacking up the poison, and with the combo missed, it's going to force SMG back. But that was the damage well and truly dealt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like at this point of the game that's where you want to be farming as the Husker. You know, we just talked about it. You're not great at farming the jungle. You are a single target hero that's capable of diving towers, and the fact that Magdai has been pushed out of lane is huge for the context of his team and their chances in this game. You know, he's 150 gold away from that uplet, maybe just wanting to safely build that one up first before they look to make any sort of tower attempt, but that's a couple of kills now that have gone over to Nia in the meantime, and so that's going to get him a lot closer to those key items for himself. He's going to get a lot closer now. I'm sure they're going to try and give as much gold over to him if he was able to kill the Tusk, but forces the rotation out from Wommy.
Yeah, we see, even though he was having a bit of a rough lane versus that Husker, he's still well and truly having a solid performance thanks to the rotations. I mean, he only got 37 last hits, but you know, we're really going to see him thrive this game if he can continue to make those maneuvers across the map. Because again, you know, the KP Omni Knight is not going to be that playmaker. So Nia with the Grimstroke is definitely going to be able to get pretty active here.
This is it. This is Army Genius's fight. If they lose this, it is a disaster.
They need the snowball.
They've got the Demonic Purge as well, but they're just able to run away. You know, they see the armlet's been picked up, they see that the Shadow Demon's level 6, and they're like, right, let's make sure at the very minimum we're fighting underneath our tower. That's one of the benefits of the increased tree cover with the most recent patch, is that you can actually join these team fights under, you know, relative secrecy. And of course, that's not even to mention the extra armor, the extra HP regen that you get from fighting underneath it. This would be horrible if they pick him off again farming in the triangle.
Meanwhile, Radiant they went for their own smoke away from the Husker.
Oh, no.
It's really low. Well, Wommy's dead now. They get the Husker, but it doesn't matter. They get the kill on Wommy into the T1 tower because they got the catapult. There's some big mistakes getting made here, and it's... You can't, as a Husker lineup, 3 deaths, you cannot be making mistakes. This is a hero who doesn't have a big window of opportunity for those mistakes.
No. I don't think there's any way I can expand on that. You know, you can't die. I think he's going to maybe look to pick up, he went the Belt of Strength. He just wants some extra little bit of farm to be able to survive, not even wanting to wait the extra 200 so that he had the full Ogre Axe, so it still wasn't, you know, 100% certain, am I going to go on a super early BKB because of how crappy my lane's gone, or is it just going to be this Sanjin Yasha? Now it reveals it's the SNY. It's going to at least protect him somewhat when he finishes up the Sanj with the extra HP regen that you're going to get, but I mean, the fact that, well, Lim's dead. The fact that you're not playing together with this lineup that is so heavily focused around burst potential is a big no-no for mine.
Yeah, and we're seeing they haven't taken any towers as well, DB.
First Dream Core used on a Treant Protector that's going to live. Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe, Roger. No, he will die. But we're setting up for Wommy up top.
With who?
They've got the haste on Neo, so Neo can rejoin them. They just need to make sure they... he doesn't even have a TP available, so they need to hold no stuns. Wommy's Vanguard pressed the attack. It's not as easy to kill with just these 2 heroes, and now he's going to have some backup as well from the Shadow Team, but Nia's going to jump the support instead. Great prioritization coming through from the Void Spirit, and now they'll try and deal with the Legion Commander. Another Astral step forward, but they're going to look to turn for Fu. Tag teams out. Can they get a dual victory coming through? If the Inspel's fast enough, which it isn't, they're unable to get the return kill there, unfortunately. Nia's committed into the fight here with the Astral Steps on cooldown, and finally Army Geniuses are able to hit back.
That's what I wanted to see. I was about to say, right before that fight broke out, the fact that we haven't seen a single Demonic Purge, we hadn't seen a Walrus Punch, we hadn't seen a Life Break, and we hadn't seen a duel yet this game. Like, it was 12.5 minutes until anyone on Army Geniuses used any ultimates. That's how badly this game was going. Finally, they get things a little bit more back on their terms. It's still only a 1k gold differential, so it's not the end of the world, but they've given themselves a chance here.
Dire structures are fortified.
Those key pickoffs helping them now formulate a push up top.
3 minutes. Sorry, 3 seconds. Can you imagine? 3-minute cooldown on duel?
3-minute duel. I'd have to. How much damage do you think it would have to give you for that to be worth it?
I think it just ends the game. GG. You win.
Duel the throne.
Did you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid?
No.
Have I told you that I was the state champion at one point when I was like 13?
How you become state champion of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Cards, the card game.
I know what Yu-Gi-Oh is, but what was the
There was tournaments.
process of becoming?
Like you win the municipal or the city tournament, and then you go to state, and I won the state. This was like in early 2000s, but you know, it still happened. That's the reality of the situation. But anyway,
Trophy?
the reason I asked that, yes,
When?
the reason I asked
You got a
that
trophy.
was I would love to see like the equivalent in Dota of like Exodia, which is like as soon as you collect it, you win the game. You know, I think that would be a little bit cool for me. It needs to be really hard to do though.
Yeah, hard to get. You win the game instantly like that. Whew.
Yeah. The chase up to KP.
Nice sounds, KP. Long enough, which he will. Puck actually reset. It means that KP gets the goons, and he's got Solar Crest up already. This is continuing to look scary.
Again,
Look at the
like
farm on mid one. Oh,
look at the farm on mid one, and again, where's the team? Like, for mine, I can't see a reason why Lim isn't there at that fight. You know, you're going up against an Omni Knight. He didn't go Guardian Angel until like level 11 or 12, I think, last game. He was forced to go into it there. Didn't actually pop it. But, I mean, surely in the instance that he does, you need to still guarantee the fact that he's going to die. But didn't even need to use it, didn't die. And that's just because of the fact that you didn't have Soul Catch. You didn't have that extra damage needed to take him down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
T1 tower mid. SMG looking to mount a little bit of an offense, or maybe they're just forcing some reactions mid to continue making space right now for mid one's troll. It's getting shoved in. Just looking to continue to control the map.
Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower.
Radiant?
I think they're not just going
This
to
is
walk
the
into
time.
Roche, are they? That is not it for mine. Like, none of your abilities except for tag team are going to help with taking Roche. So you have to get a pick off first.
They're beating on
Mid
Dire's
one
top
is so
tower.
fearless. When you got someone like the Omni Knight that can buff you up like that, like,
Yeah.
what do you actually do?
They just got Solar Crest. They've got maxed Heavenly Grace. Why wouldn't you be? Already having the Aether Lens as well with the maxed out Ink Swell on Arfu. It's 2.5 minutes until that 20-minute timer. He's 900 gold away from the shard. Wonder what's going to happen as soon as it gets to 20 minutes. Dota's a simple game. You know, it's hard to execute, but in theory, you kind of see where the games are going a lot of the time. That's why I'm so confused by some of these movements coming out from Army Geniuses. Because they've looked on point in some of these, you know, other recent series that they've been playing.
I wonder why they're not playing as fast as what we were kind of hoping them to do. I mean, I guess making those minor mistakes that they did in the early game is kind of costing them at the moment. And maybe Dire with taking that tier 1 mid, they definitely have a window or opportunity
Roche.
to take Roche. Yeah.
Well, at least they're going to try and contest it this time around. Lim's going to know that it's going on with the use of that Shadow Poison. Again, I feel like you got to get a pick off first. Like, who are you going to find? Trio Protector would be fantastic. He's revealed on the top side. He's going to have
He
to.
hasn't died just yet. He's still farming. Nia stun onto 2. He just gets the snowball off, but they're still going to be able to bring him down after with the last astral step. They drop the call on the high ground. Husker is still not joining this fight, as 2 will fall on Army Geniuses. He's hitting a tier 1 tower. They're losing 2 and probably back into Roche. Like, you have to fight. You are a Husker. You cannot go late. They're going to double buy back. Finally, tower's going to get claimed.
He's got
Nia,
BKB.
in he goes. Finds the puck. The Inkswell Remnant drags him back. Mid one, ready to rock and roll here for the protection of KP on the back line. They're doing a very good job to Kai.
Husker, you need to send the courier to yourself. It's just sitting at the mid lane. Oh. He's finally got it. BKB, level 15. He's going to try and commit with this.
Okay, okay. Dire sending his ground. Mid one's going to have to retreat away. But
Here we go.
Come through. Where's KP? Guardian Angel in the next time. Now with the purification can go. Mid one pops a battle chance. Oh, he just rips him apart. Husker with the BKB timing does absolutely nothing, as Army Geniuses lose 3, and they now can turn their attention to DB as well. Puck's pretty mobile here. A slippery boy. But the damage has been dealt. My oh my.
Yeah, and that is going to be an easy Roche cleanup as well. You know what happened that fight? You know how what I predicted in the draft happened, and they just duel him, and then kind of similar to the axe call that I was thinking might happen, they just use the Guardian Angel and he lives. You still had the Demonic Purge off cooldown for 10, I think it was 12 seconds at the time. That's the difference.
I get brought down, double Astral Step, Nia and R filled time and time again. So he's getting so active this game. SMG have turned up to another notch this series.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when the Huskar spends that much time farming, and the impact of those 3 early deaths. You know, it means that he was forced to farm continuously, be away from his team, not have the BKB. They needed to use the Demonic Purge. I'm not putting this onto Lim at all. Like, you probably should have made the attempt when you had the Demonic Purge off cooldown, sure, but he was forced to use it because, I mean, Huskar wasn't there. They were just going to take the Roche otherwise.
Radiant's bottom tower's got problems.
5,000 net worth lead. Mid one's got the Aegis in the back. And he's even just hitting a T2 tower for free here. Very much closing to level 18. And if he gets a first hit root, DB. I think he's dead here with Nia's positioning. And yep, that he is.
Oh.
Nice use the waning rift. DB still, can he get away? Cannot.
Just the 1 point in the phase shift. Not enough, unfortunately. You're gonna keep going.
He's only level 12. Oh my.
Oh my. This is not the way that you wanted to come off your solid momentum in recent weeks. And the thing is, like, for mine, you gotta just let this Rax go. You need to take a 5v5 fight and use everything onto one hero. But the thing is, now it can't be mid one because he's got the Aegis. So there's no way to kill mid one twice. That's the big issue.
And we've already seen how difficult it is when he's got KP behind him.
Yeah. You need to use literally every single ultimate. Maybe not the Dream Coil to kill a single target. And, well, mid one's the only one that matters right now. No refreshers available just yet for Army Geniuses, unfortunately. He's doing his best. I mean, this is called the dead lane, the suicide lane for a reason. And, well, he doesn't care. He's just gonna sit there and decree.
Oh, Roger. Oh, this is so awkward. He's been there for so long. They were pinging him out like, hang on guys, I think the Treant's here, but look at the space actually. They've called out Puck, DB. Hiding in a nook is going to TP out Nia. Does he get the remnant in the right direction? He doesn't. Well,
they got him.
At least get the dual victory for Wami, so
that took
he's got 30 damage.
3 ultimates to kill that Treant Protector.
And now Mameng mid lane. Mid one's man fighting, Guardian Angel's out.
Oh no.
He has to pop the BKB, now with the Purge. Mid one, protected with the status resistance. He's still able to man fight thanks to the second life. And Mangdai needs a little bit of health coming back if he wants to come back forward after this Aegis getting reclaimed here.
You can't kill him again.
Mid one is...
You cannot. Not with without your ultimates. Like, you need duel and you need disruption onto the Omni Knight, minimum. But they just didn't have that still, so they back off wisely enough, but I feel like SMG, they're fine with another BKB charge being expended there.
What is KP? KP's gone Halberd. Oh boy. How do you actually right-click anyone for a Huskar?
Got a BKB early. And,
BKB early.
Yeah, that's a risky proposition for sure. DB, he's going in deep again. Will they be able to pick off a Grimstroke at least? Nope, the heals.
It's just so demoralizing when they can't even pick off a Grimstroke. Like, SMG's movements, they're just making sure no one dies. And if one person at least died, they get a trade. They are just...
To be fair, at least it's happening on the other side of the map. So you can't take objectives if you're on your side of the map. So Mameng is given a little bit more time to farm here. He's going to be able to buy either the Morbid Mask or the Claymore on this bottom side. Has to be careful about going that one little wave too deep. KP kind of senses that he might be down here solo. He's just going to run on into this wave. He doesn't care.
HP. Can he survive long enough to the rest of the team to get there?
Wami.
At the moment now, Wami's just walking up a high ground blind, pops to at least press the attack. But is this going to be enough? Mid one's also got a double damage room for the team fight. Main guy's going to life break forward. He's also got a lot of damage to play with, but it's not going to matter. Mid one actually turns his attention with the battle trance, gets away from the hard scope. Now his attention locks on as the main Dire will fall. It's a triple kill. He gets a first hit rune as well.
Rampage?
An ultra for mid one. I don't think he's going to get Rage's call. Wow. Army geniuses demoralized here.
Perfectly understandable. I mean, you even just look at the HP in that fight. You use the battle trance, so that's why Troll's back up at max HP. But Grimstroke's on about 40%. Treant was on 40%. Omni Knight was on 40%. You go into this single pick-off lineup, and you don't pick off any single targets. It's always going to be the case when you've got A, this much save, B, this much heal, and